If you make money outside of a traditional job, whether that's a business, side hustle, freelancing, or commission, there's a retirement account that most people never get told about. It can help you lower your taxes, invest in way more than just stocks, and you actually get to control your money. But most people are stuck using retirement accounts that aren't really built for their income. So in this video, I'm going to break down what a solo 401k is, who can use it, and why it can be one of the most powerful financial tools that you can use. So let's start simple. A solo 401k is a retirement plan designed for people who are self-employed or own their own business with no full-time employees outside of a spouse. So if you're not working the traditional 9 to 5 with benefits, this is likely something that you should at least understand. So what makes it unique is that you're both the employee and the employer of the plan. And that unlocks a completely different level of flexibility compared to something like a traditional IRA. This isn't some complicated loophole. It's an IRS approved structure that most people just don't learn about. So who can actually use this? If you have any kind of self-employed income, you likely qualify. This could be freelancers, consultants, small business owners, real estate professionals, side hustlers with 1099 income, or people who make 1099 income in general. And even if that's not your main income, it still counts. So if you have a full-time job or full-time employees, but you also make money on the side, you can still open one. Now this is where most people go wrong. They're told to open a traditional IRA or maybe a SEP IRA from big financial banks and institutions. Now these accounts aren't bad, but they're limited. They limit how much you can contribute and also what you can invest in. And most importantly, they limit your control. So you end up working hard to make money, and then putting it into account, you really can't use effectively. So let's talk about one of the biggest advantages, contributions. With a solo 401k, you can contribute as both, again, the employee and the employer. That means significantly higher limits. Instead of being capped around 7K like a traditional IRA, you can potentially contribute over $72,000 per year depending on your income, and if you're over 50, you can contribute $8,000 more, so up to $80,000 of your income you can contribute tax-free. So think of it as creating your own tax strategy instead of reacting to the taxes at the end of the year. So this is huge for people who have inconsistent income. You might have a strong year, and instead of giving a large portion to taxes, you can redirect it into your retirement account. So you can choose how you want to be taxed. Traditional means you reduce your taxes today. Roth means you pay taxes now and potentially take money out tax-free later. With the Roth option, once you've had the account for at least 5 years and meet the age requirements, you can take that distribution completely tax-free. And that can be extremely powerful over time. Growing your money tax-free and taking it out later with possible higher taxes that can come tax-free in the future. So checkbook control is also another big part of the solo 401k. This is one of the biggest difference from other retirement accounts, because most retirement accounts, you have to go through a custodian to make your investments. So that means delays, approvals, and restrictions. With a solo 401k, you get to invest it directly. So if you see an opportunity, you can act on it. You don't have to wait for a third party to approve that. You also have the ability to borrow from your own plan, up to $50,000, or if you don't have $50,000 in your account, 50% of your balance. You're essentially just paying yourself back. You're making more money and being able to take money out to help yourself with business expenses, credit card debt, vehicle purchase, anything. You're not going to pay the bank back from a loan. You're paying yourself back over time for a loan you're taking for money you need. And the investment flexibility is also a new huge factor. You're not limited to just stocks and mutual funds. You can invest in things like real estate, private lending, businesses, precious metals like gold and silver, anything you can think of and that's in your alleyway of what you understand, you can invest in. So this is something that most people also don't know. If you try to use leverage in certain retirement accounts, you get hit with taxes. With a solo 401k, there are exemptions that can allow you to avoid that in certain cases. That can make a big difference depending on how you invest. Another benefit, these accounts typically have strong protection from creditors and they're generally outside probate, which helps with estate planning. Another thing you can add on is some people add on LLCs, sole props, or other corporations as the business over their solo 401k account. So this isn't required, but it adds another layer of structure. It can help with organization, liability separations, and how investments are made. You can also fund your solo 401k by rolling over existing retirement accounts. So that includes old 401ks, legacy 401ks, traditional IRAs, and SEP IRAs. Roth IRAs are typically not allowed to be rolled over, but if you have anything else, so had an old job that had W-2 and you have an old 401k from that, you can roll it over. This is how a lot of people take money that's just sitting and actually start using it more